And Mike Espy is one of many historically diverse candidates running in this year's midterms. It's a wave that's happening from coast to coast, up and down the ticket. The result is especially clear in one particular area of Tennessee in the South, Shelby County, which includes the city of Memphis, where at least 20 women have already won in the primary and general races this year. 8 of those groundbreaking women and one of their campaign managers, all African-American women, many of whom are first-time candidates, met up with All In correspondent Tremaine Lee to share their stories.
We're here at the National Civil Rights Museum. So clearly there's something special happening here in Memphis. What is happening here?
It was exciting when the voters clearly made a choice to elect at least 20 plus women into office this year. So that's very exciting.
Not just women, but black women.
Yeah.
Black women.
I mean, I think you can see nationwide there has been an interest in black women stepping from behind the scenes and actually running for office. In Shelby County, we sprinkled black girl magic all across the field.
Just everywhere. Just
everywhere.
Everywhere.
My kids actually worked on my campaigns. My daughter was at every event with me. I grew up with a single mom. I've been the woman who was on public assistance. I've been the woman who had to sleep in the car with her kids.
So this is one of your classrooms?
These are our practical nursing students. I own actually Tennessee's only black-owned nursing school. When I started my school, I started because there were not very many opportunities for post-secondary education to those who didn't have a traditional pathway in life, much like me. So it led me to start being more involved in my community, more outside of my business, and that's how I got into politics.
Was there ever a moment of doubt when you said, maybe this is too much?
There are people who now believe in me that didn't even know who I was. People who have invested in me, people who have showed up to work for me. I can't quit. I can't let them down.
Are we at a point where black women in particular are finally getting the respect they deserve, or is there still a lot of work to do?
I just think more women are starting to feel like they can take charge and they can be in leadership positions. And people are tired. I mean, they want to change. They want to see someone in office who gets things done, and who gets things done but women.
How many of y'all are first-time candidates?
I'm a first-time candidate. I actually made history as well. First woman and African-American to hold the circuit court clerk seat. It was just an amazing feeling to not only represent Shelby County, but to show my children that they can do whatever they want if they put their mind to it.
I think maybe sometimes that the young people thought that they couldn't be elected. And I just wanted to show them, step out, show them that women can be elected.
My campaign made sure that we let young people know you have an opportunity to be involved, you have an opportunity to sit in these seats, and you have an opportunity to make change.
So at 27, the youngest among this amazing group of candidates, how does it feel to represent not just being a black woman, but a young black woman?
We galvanized young people, and we went to the streets. We went back to our old community roots. We talked to people. When you give us qualified, strong black candidates, we will turn out to the polls and vote.
How many of you all have beat guys to get to where you are now? How'd that feel? It feel kind of good?
I am a woman, hear me roar. It felt great.
It did. I mean, I too beat a longtime incumbent for my seat, and it was just a matter of just saying, you know what, why not me?
I've been in the State House. And I told you I worked 35 years and 4 months as a teacher. And I've been in the State House for 21 years. You get called girl. Can you believe that? Yes, she said, listen, just call me Barbara, Miss Cooper, Representative Cooper, but just call me by my name.
You have to work harder than everybody else. You have to work longer than everybody else. You have to be smarter. You have to show up earlier. It's hard to run for office as a woman.
We had to fight a different way in order to gain respect from the men that we were sitting next to.
This is one of our largest African-American communities in the county. Despite what our ancestors had to go through as slaves on the plantation, they decided to build and keep their families here. They built their homes on top of grounds where the slaves once lived.
And what does it mean for y'all to represent your communities, especially with these deep historic roots to these communities?
The black girls got in the parade this year, and as we were walking down the street, I'll never forget this moment. The women were bringing their girls up to us to try to take pictures. It's almost like they just can't believe someone who looks like them, someone who looks like their mother is on TV, holding a microphone, standing and talking to a large crowd of people, or walking in the street and waving to the public. It's a beautiful feeling.
This sends a message to not only to women and black women, just to men. I mean, in this era of the Me Too movement, to all men out there, like, you know what? These are women who need to be respected. They're smart, they're savvy, they can do this.
Yeah, I think this group of women, we live the concept of I am my sister's keeper. See, campaigning for office is difficult, and to be able to see your sister on the pole and know she's going through that same thing is really important. And the tribe of black women that support and lift us up has made all the difference for us.
And Tremaine Lee joins me now. It's great, a great sort of insight into what's going on down there. One thing that struck me, how did these people make the decision to go from non-candidate to candidate?
For many of them, it felt like it was just time. They talked about a blue wave, and they said they wanted to see this black wave happen. As we know, black women over-index in terms of political engagement, but the representation is not there.
Right.
We see what's happening with Ayanna Pressley and Stacey Abrams, but also in Shelby County. So many times, and I've heard this time and again, that black women are expected to be the political mules for the Democratic Party. They'll save you against Ray Moore. They'll come to bat for candidates when they have nowhere else to turn. They turn to black women in these communities. And so to see a community where these black women showed out, are wanting change. Katrina Robinson unseated a 12-year incumbent. That's no small task in a place like Memphis.
Yeah, and it's true. There's such a representation. There's such a gap between representation and just sort of how reliable those voters are and how engaged they are. Did they talk about the sort of what it's been like to go from candidate to now either office holder or about to be an office holder?
Well, the big challenge was just getting through the campaigning and the election. And you know how dirty local politics can be when everybody knows your business.
Yeah.
They know who your daddy is. They know where all the skeletons are. So for many of these candidates, a few in particular said, just getting out there every single day, putting your face out there, knocking on the doors. There was a change. Right? You had to step up because it was a calling and it had to be done.
People, if you've never been around someone running for local office, it's an amazingly humbling experience. It's not real glorious. It's like a lot of people, just like trying to get people's attention, and they don't want to talk to you. And it's part of what's beautiful about democracy. Tremaine Lee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.